Welcome back to Recap Kun. Today, I will be continuing my recap on the aristocrat's otherworldly adventure, serving gods who go too far. In the previous episode, Kazuya died protecting some girls, and reincarnated into another world as a boy named Cain. But because of his good deed, he is blessed by the 7 gods of the world, giving him completely overpowered stats and magic abilities. He trains to become an adventurer so that he can help people, and when he turns 10, he heads to the capital for his debut. Along the way, he rescues the princess and the duke's daughter from a horde of orcs, and he is rewarded by the king with a promotion to being a baron, which comes with a mansion. And since he is so strong, the king and duke also engage their daughters to marry him, so that he will stay with their kingdom. Cain checks out his mansion, and although it's completely run down, he fixes it up using his magic, and hosts a party for all the nobles. Thanks to his knowledge from the other world, he impresses all the guests with food and drinks that are completely different, and his toilet surprises the king, who finds it revolutionary, immediately demanding one for the palace. Cain visits the barracks, where he runs into Vice Captain Gazard. He explains that he was told he could leave his monster materials there, so Gazard takes him to a warehouse where he can leave the materials. However, Cain says the room isn't big enough, and Gazard thinks he must have something big, like the red dragon at his mansion. But Cain says it's nothing as impressive, saying it's just an earth dragon. But Gazard is just as shocked, saying that it would take a whole party of A-rank adventurers just to take one out. They head out into the courtyard, and Cain takes out all of the monsters from his item box. Gazard can't believe how many monsters there are, but these are really just his A-rank monsters, and he secretly still has S-rank monsters in his box, after the gods just gave him too much power. Gazard wonders if Cain is a hero or a disciple of the gods, but Cain just says he's an ordinary boy, and Gazard decides not to ask too many questions. He tells Cain it will take a while to appraise all the monsters, and Cain says he can come back whenever they are ready. As he goes to leave, Gazard stops him, asking him to help train the knights, and says that he wants to show him off to his captain. Gazard introduces Cain to the knights as the hero who defeated 30 orcs to save the princess. Cain wonders where the captain is, and Gazard says the captain will probably arrive as soon as the mock battles begin. Cain imagines the captain as a scary monster, but Gazard tells him not to worry. He decides to start the mock battle, but one of the knights speaks out, feeling bad because Cain is just a child, so Gazard tells the knight to go first. The knight gives Cain the first move for free, telling him to show him what he can do. Cain uses his boost spell, dashing at him, and instantly disarming the knight. The knight immediately admits defeat, and Cain thinks he overdid it. He tries to end things, but Gazard grabs onto him, telling him to take on all the knights at once. But the fight is stopped, as the captain Tefana jumps onto the scene. She wonders why her knights are picking on a child, hugging Cain, and telling him that everything is going to be okay, thinking he is just a lost child who wandered in. She demands an explanation from Gazard, and he explains that Cain is actually the hero who defeated 30 orcs. Hearing this, Tefana's expression immediately changes, as she becomes excited to meet him, and she challenges him to a duel. Gazard tells her to introduce herself first, but she says they will get to know each other with their swords. The knights think that even Cain doesn't stand a chance, because Tefana has the title of Master Swordsman. They prepare to fight, but Cain says he only has a wooden sword, but Tefana attacks him anyway. She uses her boost skill, charging at Cain, and the two exchange blows. The knights are shocked to see Cain keeping up with the captain. The two seem evenly matched, but Cain boosts his speed even more, getting behind the captain and winning the duel. Tefana becomes emotional with the result, and immediately decides that she will marry him. Everyone is shocked, and Cain says it's too soon since he is only 10 years old, and he doesn't even know anything about her. So Tefana introduces herself. Besides being the captain of the Royal Knights, she is an honorary viscount and daughter of a duke from the northern forest. She tells him not to worry about age, since she is an elf, who will live at least 300 years, so her looks won't change for a long time, but Cain thinks that was not the problem. Cain hides behind Gazard, saying that marriage is a big decision, and they can't just decide things on their own so easily, especially since he is already engaged to Telestia and Silk. He cries for Gazard's help, but he just pretends to be sleeping. Tefana agrees that they can't decide things on their own, so she tells Gazard to arrange an audience with the king, but Cain thinks that telling the king would be a terrible idea, but he has no choice, and gets dragged along with them. They have a meeting with the king, who wonders why Cain has come to visit. Tefana announces that she wants to marry Cain, and the king asks what happened. Cain explains that he beat Tefana in a duel, and that was what led to her proposing to him. The king asks him if he has told her about his other engagements, but Cain says he wasn't able to, since it's meant to be a secret. The king explains that elves used to be kidnapped and enslaved for their beauty, but their first king changed things and made peace with the elves. The elf nation was taken in and put under the protection of the kingdom, and he reveals that Tefana is essentially their princess. The king tells Tefana that Cain is already engaged to Telestia and Silk. She seems disappointed to learn this, but as he starts to apologize, Tefana says that it only makes her want him even more. The king acknowledges her feelings, but tells her she needs to write a letter to her father to get his permission. Tefana leaves to write her letter, but drags Cain away so they can fight some more. After they leave, the king is surprised Cain was able to beat Tefana, and he wonders how he could be so strong at such a young age. Gazard mentions Cain's reaction when he asked if he was a disciple of the gods, and the prime minister thinks they should test him by using a certain book. A few days later, Cain is exhausted, and he runs into Gazard again, who asks him why he looks so tired. Cain explains that Tefana has been forcing him on countless dates, which are really just the two of them fighting. Gazard thanks him for helping Tefana get stronger, and Cain reveals he has also gained the Master Swordsman title. They suddenly hear Tefana's voice, and Cain tries to run, but Gazard drags him away, saying the king wants to see him. Cain thinks he is in trouble, but the king shows him a book that contains emperor-level magic, passed down in the royal family, which is said to have been written by the first king. Cain checks it out, and is amazed to see there is another level of magic, but the king reveals that no one is able to read the book, because it's actually written in Japanese. Cain realizes he messed up, thinking that the first king must have also been someone who was reincarnated from Japan. The king asks about Cain's identity, and he realizes he can't hide the truth any longer, so he explains how he was reincarnated with the memories from his previous life. Garm wonders if he is really his son, and Cain claims that he is, because the gods told him that was the case. Everyone is shocked to hear he met the gods, and he recalls how he met the 7 gods during his baptism. The king can't believe he met all 7 gods, and they ask him to show his status. Cain opens his real status window, shocking everyone as they see his level 10 blessings and his title as God's Chosen. The king thinks that with his title as God's Chosen, everyone in the world would bow to him. But Cain doesn't want that to happen, saying that he is happy with how things are in his life, with the adventures he's had, and the people he has met, so he wants them to just treat him the same as before. The king agrees to his request, but jokes that he could be king if he wanted. Tefana interrupts the meeting, revealing the letter from her father, agreeing to let her marry Cain, so she grabs Cain and takes him away, heading straight to the courtyard. Meanwhile, the king orders everyone to keep what they learned about Cain a secret, hoping that he will continue to protect the country, as well as their people. Later on, we see Telestia and Silk after they find out about his engagement to Tefana. They are mad at him at first, but they manage to accept the news, and they tell him not to accept all the proposals that he will receive, wondering how many people they will have to share him with. Tefana bursts in looking for him, wanting to share their love together, and the girls wonder what he has been doing with her. But he gets dragged away as he tries to explain himself. But that's where this video ends. Remember to like and subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.